West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Miss Uganda 2023 finale. The wait is over. 470 contestants, 21 finalists, one big stage. Who will be the next beauty queen? The battle for the crown is on. This is the most beautiful showdown, the most unpredictable competition. Miss Uganda 2023 Grand Finale on March 18th, live on Makula TV at 8 p.m. only on Star Times. Miss Uganda 2023, beauty beyond looks.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
It is the 15th of March 2023. My name is Dennis Oringi. You're most welcome for this particular program, the Kokoliriko Show on West Television. We are coming to you live from the heart of Arua City, just here on plot number 39 here, Weatherhead Park Lane here in Arua City, West Nile. Those who are catching us within the Arua City, thank you very much for joining us this morning. And not forgetting those who are catching us live from the district of Marasha, Kopoko, Jumbe, Moyo, Ajumani. Good morning. And those in Obongi, Madiokola, we do appreciate you very much for waking up together with us this morning. And not forgetting my brothers and sisters in Arua district in the county of Vura. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Not forgetting those who are catching us live from Zombo district in the town of Paida. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We do appreciate you and we don't take you for granted. And those who are catching us live within Nebi municipality, Nebi district in particular, those in the sub-counties of Irusi, Parambo, Kuching, Nyaravur, and not forgetting those within Nebi sub-county as well. We do appreciate you very much for waking up together with us this morning. And those who are catching us live from Pakwash in the sub-counties of Panyimur, talking about Day, not forgetting those who are catching us live within Pakwash Town Council, Pakwash districts, those in Wadilai, those who are catching us live from Panyango, Pokwero, Alui, good morning, and we do appreciate you very much for waking up together with us this morning. And those catching us live from Bunyoro sub-region, we do appreciate you very much. And those in Achuli sub-region, Ucho Nining, Dekopini number 10, and those who are catching us live from Karamoja sub-region as well, we do appreciate you very much for waking up together with us this morning. This morning, I will be giving you updates that you want to know this morning, right from Western sub-region, and also what is happening at the national level, and we shall also be able to go internationally, getting to know what is happening in other countries that we do have here in Africa. It is important that we should be acquainted with information in as far as issues are concerned. In our program, the morning show, the Kokoliriko Show, we discuss social, economic, and political issues. And now I am here to give you those social and economic and political issues that you need to know this morning here on Western Television. Starting it straight away from Western sub-region, you need to know that on Monday, a court-martial sat in Bondo military barracks where RA 18500. This is the army number of Corporal Okwir Franco of the 57th Battalion belonging to 409 Brigade, Capt 120, pleaded guilty for the first-degree murder of Ashida Filiam, a youth male aged 23 on December 25th, 2023. 2022. It is alleged that the accused person, while on guard duties at the small gate of Bondo Army Barracks, developed a misunderstanding with the deceased, which resulted into shooting of a gun, SMG, number UGUB 4900. Christine Okomuringa attended this court-martial sitting that sat for the first time here in Western Sub-region to have a public hearing whenever a soldier commits a crime, and it is, you know, dealing with civilians and, you know, the military. It is really prudent upon the court-martial to have a sitting where the suspect is supposed to be tried publicly and the verdict is read to the people to know how soldiers do handle their things. Christine Okumuringa has more on that story, and let's pay attention to the story and we listen and we get to understand what exactly transpired during this court-martial.
At a court-martial sitting at Bondo Military Barracks, URA 18500, Corporal Okwiro Franco of the 57th Battalion pleaded guilty for first-degree murder of Shida Filiam, a youth male aged 23, on the 25th of December 2022. It is alleged that the accused person, while on guard duties at the small gate in Bondo Military Barracks, developed a misunderstanding between the deceased, which resulted into shooting of a gun, SMG number UGU B4900. URA 18500, Corporal Okwiro Franco, in his statement to the court, asked the public for forgiveness for the crime.
So I'm a little picture.
So I'm praying for forgiveness.
I
is praying people to forgive him, even the accused family should forgive him.
So
it's praying for forgiveness from everybody. I don't know how my children are at home now, right now. Since this incident took place, so it's praying for forgiveness.
The chief prosecutor stated that according to the post-mortem report done by the police sergeant on the 25th of December 2022, around 11:30 a.m., the deceased died of severe hemorrhage caused by overbleeding due to a gunshot wound.
However, Your Honor, the convict decided to take away the life of the person he was protecting. Your Honor, the post-mortem was made, and the cause of death was by the shooting.
The defense lawyer noted that his client is a first-time offender, a sole breadwinner, and pleads for a lenient sentence so that he can be given time to support his family.
Other mitigation. The convict has pleaded guilty. Therefore, he has not received court time, which is a sign of remorsefulness. Therefore, if he is given a chance, we believe he can reform. Your Honor, also the convict is a first-time offender with no past criminal record. Honorable Chairman, the Kokoliriko Show is also a sole breadwinner. Your Honor, the couple has 2 wives and 9 children. So we pray that he is given a lesser, lenient sentence so that he can get time to go back home to look after his family It's the 2 wives and the 9 children.
The court sentenced URA 18500 Corporal Okwir to 40 years in jail from effect of 13th March 2023, given a period of 14 days to appeal the judgment.
Court therefore sentences URA 18500 Corporal Okwir Franco of 57th Battalion to a term of 40 years imprisonment to be considered as appropriate in the circumstances with effect from today, the 13th day of March 2023. Having been convicted on his own plea of guilty, the convict is advised that he has a right of appeal against the severity and the legality of the sentence with effect within a period of 14 days.
Reporting for West Nile Television, Okumaringa Christine, Nilecast.
All right, dear viewer, you have watched this story and you have listened to the submissions that were given in as far as this trial is concerned. And I believe that the affected persons, more especially the family members of the deceased, are a little bit fine now because justice seems to be given to the person who lost his life, and the family members should be fine with this because this gentleman, the UPDF soldier, has been sentenced to 40 years imprisonment, and that is life imprisonment. As the chief prosecutor did say, that the section 188 and 189 of the Military Act, of the UPDF Act, I mean, states that a person that commits a murder of a civilian should be sentenced to death. And I believe that Okwir Franco should be in his early 40s, and when you add again 40 years in prison, you will be able to service this sentence for the rest of his life. That's what I can tell you, because after serving for 40 years in prison, and you already in your early 40s, trust me, the time that you'll be coming out, you will either be too weak or you might come out as a dead person. We wish him well in servicing his sentence, but he can also appeal as well, because there is room for appeal. If he feels that the judgment is not on his side and has not favored him, and I've been told that he is a gentleman who has is a person who has 2 wives and around 9 children, and he was able to ask the court-martial to give him a linear sentence so that he can be able to give the support to the family members. And this should also serve as a warning to other UPDF soldiers who think that by having guns, they can misuse the guns to shoot at human persons who are civilians. I have to tell you that the guns that you have been given to you to help in defending this country. And you cannot use the gun for defending yourself alone. And it depends on the circumstance that gets you with the gun. And if you are facing a rebel, and you know a rebel is also harmed and you are also harmed, and then what do? You have to also defend yourself. But in this scenario of this gentleman called Philiam, who was shot on 25th of December last year, during Christmas Day, they just picked a misunderstanding. It seems it was a transfer of aggression. This gentleman, Okwir Franco, was disturbed by somebody, and he had to transfer that aggression to this young gentleman who is resting. And may his soul rest in eternal peace. And that is something that I found it is important that I should be able to bring to your attention. All right, dear viewer, away from that court martial that sat at Bondo Army Barracks here in West Nile, let's get to more stories locally this morning from Arua City. I have to tell that newly graduated students of Muni University, led by Geoffrey Ohirwot, yesterday they were able to gift a P7 pupil of Onjevo Primary School with a wheelchair and an assortment of scholastic materials. And these particular gifts were not only given to this gentleman in P7 by the name Asante Ivan. Another young boy who is living with disability, is a person with disabilities studying in P5, was also given a dozen of books and some pens together with set for him to use as he tries his level best to compete with other learners as well. This gentleman in P5 cannot drink water, cannot eat food. According to the head teacher, this young boy, the reason why he cannot eat, he cannot drink water when he is at school, because there is no latrine that he can use due to his deformation, due to his inability. So we should really know that there are people who need to be supported. And we can only support these people when we identify you that there are people who are suffering outside there. You might think that you're okay, but there are people who are not okay, who need to be supported. This young boy by the name Ivan Asante, who is in P7, these students who graduated newly from Muni University went to hand over this wheelchair to him. Unfortunately, he was not at school. Why? His only wheelchair that he used to move into school got a puncture and the tires were worn out and he could not really roll to school at Onjevo Primary here. And when he saw this wheelchair, let me tell you, he was really very excited, including even the mother. Not only being this young disabled person getting a new wheelchair for him to use so that he is able to study. May the good Lord rewards those who have really brought something together to support this needy disabled child. Let's have more from the story, and you will be able to listen to the submissions given by different persons who spoke in the story. Good morning.
A team of young graduates from Muni University, led by one Geoffrey Ohirwot, today handed over a wheelchair and sets of scholastic materials to two pupils living with disabilities but studying at Onjevo Primary School. While handing over the items to the boy, Geoffrey Ohirwot says he identified the boy during his assessment at the school after being touched by the art of supporting the needy. Geoffrey says that they were able to mobilize the money as friends to extend towards supporting the young boy.
I'm very excited to be here at Onjevo Primary School. Yeah, God has used us mightily and to do great things. First and foremost, we don't have much. We have so little, but God has used us to employ the little we have to do so much. Why this school and why this boy? Last week I came here because I wanted to do a give back to the community in which I'm living. And my target was not to buy the wheelchair. Actually, my target was to bring some textbook, some books, some pens to help these children with disability. And then this is when I found out that this boy was rolling on a wheelchair without the tires, without the rollers. So I immediately felt God telling me we have to get for him a wheelchair. And that is when I got up with my friends to ask them if there is any way we can help this boy to procure a wheelchair. And luckily, there are only 5 people who contributed to buying this wheelchair.
Geoffrey also moves to P5 class of the same school to do the same by handing over books and set to a P5 pupil who is also living with disability, and he says that they have given to this person with disabilities not because they have a lot but because they feel it is important to share and it should be one's responsibility.
And we contributed altogether 500,000, but the wheelchair we bought at 550,000 plus smaller transport. It was a lot, but God has provided it for him. And the reason is we want to paint also a picture that we are fresh graduates from the university. If we can identify a need in the community and we can come up with a solution to solve the problem, then everyone has to come up and resolve such a problem. This boy is in P7, and we are very sure by providing him with a wheelchair, he's going to have an access to come to class and attend lessons every day, and we look forward to him progressing in his school and passing with the first grade, and that's why what we have done, just to ease his coming to school.
Ivan Asante, who received the wheelchair, is very excited and says this will now be able to make him compete favorably with other learners.
Very important for me because this way and this way is new. This thing here is nice because it is new. That one there, I used to come with it to school. That one there can disturb me a lot. Now this one here,
the mother of Asante, who escorted him to school after he could not make it to the school today due to transport challenge, is grateful to the support extended to the child, and she says at last the child will be able to study.
Because God had her prayer and cry about the child. The appreciation she's making is God who is going to hear. For the things that are being done.
Bako Alima Caroline, the teacher on Njivo Primary School, says the support extended to the school cannot be taken for granted because the support extended to 2 disabled pupils will make them stay in school.
I called the parents to speak it over with them, and she told me she was a single mother, especially a mother to Asante Ivan. She told me she's single-handed and she struggles all alone, so she rather looks for school fees. I felt so bad, and I decided to bring in them to eat in the school. But they will thank you people very, very much that today actually, due to the rains, Asante Ivan had missed school. That bike was already one out bike was given by the Rotarians some years back before even I came. It was I think in 2017. So I want to thank Geoffrey in particular and you who are together with him for this move that you thought of Asante Ivan, and from today on I think he's going to be in school and in class all the time. Ivan Asante is a very promising learner, and the way he competes with the others. So I think what you people have done has really promoted inclusive learning.
Njivo Primary School might not be the only school with such learners with disabilities now. Bako is calling upon her colleague teachers in different primary schools to always ensure that they support learners with such disabilities and those that may be needy as well.
Executive meetings, I think I have to say this because I'm the General Secretary to the Teachers Association in Barua City. In fact, the teachers will take it up because we would have helped the community, would have helped a good number of learners. Now, if Njivo can realize so much, what about in other schools?
The team did not only give assorted items to the 2 learners, they were able also to give career talk to the rest of the primary 7 candidates who are preparing to sit for their final examinations this year. Reporting for Western Television Nilecast, I am Dennis Oringi.
All right, we'll be back. You are still watching Western Television. My name is Dennis Oringi. We still have more stories for you from Western Sub-region that you need to know, and we want to get to that is the story of Nyagak Power Station. We are talking about Nyagak 3 here. You have to know that Nyagak 3 Power Dam Works hit a snag over funding gap, and this is not the first time we are getting this particular story. I can remember vividly on 22nd of December 2021 when the Minister of Energy and Minerals Development, Honorable Ruth Nankabirwa, visited Nyagak 3 Power Station, and she was able to visit also Nyagak 1 Power Station that is currently producing 3.5 megawatts. She was able to make a statement after meeting the contractor or the contractors who are responsible for the construction of Nyagak 3 Power Station. And you have to know that Nyagak 3 Power Station will be able to provide 6.6 megawatts, supplementing the 3.5 megawatts. And according to the Minister of Energy and Minerals Development, by that time, in 2021, I mean, she was able to say that the Nyagak 3 Power will be able to supplement the national grid that West Nile will be connected to. And the story that is coming through is that the construction of this power station, that is Nyagak 3, and it is in Paida sub-county, will not be able to be completed this particular month or sooner, simply because the construction cannot proceed because the government has failed to provide the money that it is supposed to provide towards the construction of this power station. So the construction of the Nyagak 3 Power Dam in Zombo district has hit a snag following the government's failure to avail funds for its completion, and this is something that you need to know. And remember, the power being that is supposed to be generated from a Nyagak 3 Power Station is supposed to supplement the national grid and also supplement the 3.5 megawatts that is being produced from that is Nyagak 1 Power Station. Now, in July last year, the contractor asked for additional funding of 22 billion for the completion of the project, but to date, the money has not yet been provided by the government of the Republic of Uganda. And I have to tell you that government of the Republic of Uganda is one of the shareholders in that particular project of the Nyagak 3 Power Station. Now, speaking to journalists over the weekend, the State Minister for Energy, that is none other than Honorable Sidronius Okasai Opolot, said the project is stumbling. And when the whole state minister responsible for energy in this country says that Nyagak 3 Power Station is stumbling, you know what it means? It means that the delay will continue, and we should advocate for the region to be connected to the national grid, in which the region is connected to the national grid. However, the region has been put on 33 kV line, meaning that it is not enough. It does not have enough voltage to sustain the demand of power in this region. So what should the people of West Nile do? The people should be able to continue with advocacy of seeing that the region is connected on 132 kV line, the bigger line that is supposed to be connected to the pylons that have been erected. However, the pylons have not yet been completed. There are connections of wires in between Pakwash and Nebi, and reaching somewhere, you will not find the lines being connected. So it is all about the speed at which the work is going on. I do not know whether there are some bottlenecks that are really affecting the connection of West Nile to the national grid using the 32 kV line. It is something that we continue to advocate. It is us to join hands together to see that the power being supplied to the region is enough and sufficient to run different businesses that we do have here in the region. You have to know that, quoting from the State Minister of Energy, Okasai, he says that the contractor needed 22 billion in a supplementary budget, but it was not provided. So the supplementary budget of 22 billion has not been provided to the contractor of Nyagak 3 power station, and that is why the work is stumbling. But we were advised to budget for it in the financial year 2023-2024, and we are still getting to the financial year 2023-2024, meaning that the completion of this power station might be next year. And I did say last year that the construction work at Nyagak 3 power station will be completed towards 2025 or towards 2026 because of the funding gap. And according to the State Minister of Western Sub-Region, and we have to take this gospel for truth, that the delay in funding of Nyagak 3 power station will affect the generation of more power for this Western region. The director of Hydromax and Dot Service, the project has faced funding challenges and they need support from the government. And this is not the first time that the director of Hydromax and Dot Services is lamenting about a funding gap. I can remember in 2021, in December 22nd, the same director did put it clear to the Minister in charge of Energy and Minerals Development, Honorable Ruth Nankabirwa, with due respect, about this particular issue of the funding gap that is affecting the construction of Nyagak 3 power station. If you have never been there, I have to tell you, I have been there, and I know what I'm talking about when we are talking about the construction work at the Nyagak 3 power station. By that time, they were still at the basement level, meaning erecting what we call the wires and putting up concrete to see that the channels are created and the turbines are really erected, and the pipes that are leading to the powerhouse, the pipes are supposed to be buried and connected. And these were the levels of work by that time. I do not know at this particular time whether it is still at the same level, but I have to tell you that last year by July, the minister revisited the Nyagak 3 power station again to find out the level of work. But with what we are getting from the State Minister of Energy and Minerals Development, Honorable Okasai, it tells you that power generation to this region will delay a bit if this region is not rescued by the national grid from Karuma Power Dam. Quoting him, quoting Reddy, he says this: already we have spent 30 billion on this project and we need 22 billion to complete the remaining works. We have got those loans from commercial banks at the high interest rates, but other funders want to see government commitment first before they can come in. So meaning that government is not committing itself to the funding of Nyagak 3 power station. And we are here talking about priority. I do not know whether it is not a priority for the people of West Nile to get more power generation. So it is now up to the government of the Republic of Uganda. You have heard from the director of Hydromax and Dot Services that are the companies behind the construction of Nyagak 3 power station on the problem that that particular power station is facing in as far as the construction works are concerned. And I believe different leaders who are responsible to advocate on behalf of the people of West Nile, you have had these. I do not know what you discuss at your quorum. This is the time that we should pick up this and we present it on the floor of Parliament. I can remember vividly last year, the Committee of the National Resources visited Western Sub-Region and they were able to visit Nyagak 1 and Nyagak 3. I do not know what recommendations they were able to write, whether they're doing follow-up on the recommendations that they were able to write and present on the floor of Parliament about power connection in this region, West Nile. I love this country. There are issues that come up and you see people talking about it, some of them even falling in them like flies, falling in porridge, in tea, and they don't get to the bottom of the cup containing the tea. I do not know whether it is our problem or the problem is beyond us. We drum certain things, but we do not dance to the tune of the drum that we are drumming. And this is about the issue of power. We have seen leaders pushing, and I was on one of the WhatsApp groups and the conversations there were really very, very strong. But I was asking them, how far are you going to go with this conversation about power in this region? And you have to know that there are people who are supposed to help us bring out this clearly. But if they care less, they might be knowing the reason why they care less, then we cannot achieve that. So the beauty is that we have the two power substations being worked on, the one in Tata Division in Nebi Municipality, and another one we have here in Arua City at Muni. And if the two power substations are properly worked on, now we need to speed up on the connection on the pylons right from Olweo power station up to Nebi and Arua. And then maybe West Nile problems in as far as power is concerned will be solved. Less of that, I have to tell you that we shall be facing the same challenges that currently we are facing, because it is even beyond Wenreko that sometimes people do blame. I am not their PRO, but that is what I can tell you, that President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni was supposed to come last week, and he was also expected to come on 29th to 30th this month of March, but for your information, his coming has been pushed to next month around 11th to 12th. I should believe that the postponement of his coming to this region is because certain things need to be worked on. One, I believe it is not a delay tactics to see that the region is connected to the national grid. I should believe that it is not a tactics to see that the people get the PDM money and they begin using the money, so that there will be some model farmers that will be able to demonstrate how they're using the PDM money. And it becomes a success story, not only to the President of the Republic of Uganda, even to those who will be able to convince the President that, see here, people are now implementing the PDM properly. But the issue of power is a very serious matter, because the matter of power started before even the introduction of PDM. And I believe that this region will be connected on the 132 kV line that will be able to supply this region with the adequate and sufficient and efficient power for usage by the users. Now, the 6.6 megawatts Nyagatsiri power plant was meant to have been completed in September 2022 last year, but the contractor in July last year asked for more time to finish the work. This power plant is meant to supplement the 3.5 megawatts already being generated from Nyagak 1, which has often had breakdown challenges. Now, the Chief Executive Officer of Uganda Electricity Transmission Company, that is UAETCL, Michael Talemwa, said West Nile could not be connected to the national grid by March 2023, as earlier promised by the Energy Minister Ruth Nankabira. So this is something that you need to know, that this region will still be lagging behind in as far as connecting them to the national grid is concerned. But for now, they can be, shifting from Nyagak 1 power, and also the 33 kV line that is tapped from the power that is supposed to go to Shopbe Lodge, Safari Lodge, Massation Falls. Just, we will be mingling around there. If there's no power, tolerate. If there's power, smile a bit. If there's no power, please tolerate, because even those that are in charge of power connection in this region, they have said it, that West Nile region could not be connected to the national grid by March 2023, as earlier promised by the Energy Minister, meaning what the Minister of Energy said last year will not work. In other words, we have to wait for more time to see that the works that have not yet been done, in as far as connecting this region to the national grid is concerned, the works are done properly. My name is Dennis Oringi, and let's go for a break. And when we come back, we still have more for you this morning. You're watching Kokoliriko on Western Television, and continue watching us. And don't move away from your TV set, because we still have more information we shall be able to give you this morning.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Miss Uganda 2023 finale. The wait is over. 470 contestants, 21 finalists, one big stage. Who will be the next beauty queen? The battle for the crown is on. This is the most beautiful showdown, the most unpredictable competition. Miss Uganda 2023 Grand Finale on March 18th, live on Makula TV at 8 p.m. only on Star Times. Miss Uganda 2023, beauty beyond looks.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
11 minutes past the hour of 8 a.m. right on Weststar Television. We do appreciate you very much for tuning to Weststar Television and always staying glued to the television. Allow me to continue giving you more information this morning that you need to know. Suspected lesbian couple further remanded in Jinja. This is the story that is coming from Jinja, right the other side. You need to know that Grade 1 Magistrate Agnes Musimen has further remanded a suspected lesbian deputy head teacher of PMM Girls School in Jinja City and her alleged lover to Kirinya prison until March 28th. You need to know that the deputy head teacher Lydia Mokoda and Martha Naigaga were arrested after parents stormed the school on March 3rd, accusing the school leader of promoting lesbianism among students. The parents were, however, blocked by police from accessing the school premises. The pair was first arraigned in court on March 6, 2023, where Grade 1 Magistrate Yafesi Osheng charged them with gross indecency and procurement of gross, that is indecency, before remanding them until 14th, that is March 20. March 2023. You need to know that that is not other than, on Tuesday, Mr. Mukoda appeared in court clad in a blue floral dress while her alleged 30-year-old partner wore a red dress and scarf right there. So Mukoda was represented by Ms. Ellen Nabunya, whom the trial magistrate barred from making any submission because she lacked a practicing license right there. So however, Nabunya said, I applied for my practicing license, but I am yet to receive it. Now, during the proceedings, state prosecutor, that is Florence Kataike, acknowledged the presence of the PMM Girls School Grace Kwongo and other staff members who she said are key witnesses in the case. Ugandan anti-gay activist Pastor Martin Semper, who was also at court, urged protection against industrial recruitment of children into sodomy. He said the deputy teacher has authority, and my worry is that she used that authority to recruit our children into sodomy. Therefore, he wants the police to investigate what she has been doing in school. And you have to know that Joseph Bateganya, the chairperson of that is of the village Walukuba ward in Jinja South City Division, where Ms. Mukoda resides, asked the Ministry of Education and Sports to revoke her license. The developments in Jinja come barely 2 days after Uganda's Parliament, March 13th, started hearing views from different stakeholders about the Anti-Homosexuality Bill 2023, which will criminalize same-sex activities. And I need to let you know about this particular issue. So the PMM girls in Jinja, the story is still trending, where the deputy teacher is being accused for recruiting young girls into sodomy. And they have been remanded till that is next month for further hearing and judgment right there. So the issue of homosexuality, it is a very serious matter. The issue of lesbianism, it's a very serious matter, and we urge the members of the public to participate in the public opinion debate that members of parliament will be moving around this country to hear from the members of the public. And according to the Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, Right Honorable Anita Among, last week did say that time will also be given to the LGBTQ community also to have their say over the anti-homosexuality bill that is being debated. And as members of the public, we also have to participate in this particular debate. But I have to tell you that the GEMA, a political party in this country, has come out to lash at the members of parliament who do abscond from this particular period that the House is discussing the anti-homosexuality bill. So they are appealing to the members of public to turn up in big numbers to debate over this matter of the anti-homosexuality bill, and they are waiting to see those members of parliament who would be behaving like squirrels, who would be showing up at parliament, but at a certain point they will not be showing up. And I love what the Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Uganda did say, that this time around people are going to vote, and it will be a public vote where you will stand in front of the camera and you make your declaration even before your peers, and they want to know who are the people supporting homosexuality in this country, who are those behind LGBTQ issues here in our country, who are the people getting funding from this community of the LGBTQ. And we are waiting to see what will really happen during that time that the bill will be passed and will be forwarded to the President of the Republic of Uganda to assent to, and it becomes a law in this country. Remember, one of the section in this anti-homosexuality bill, it states, that once somebody will be found guilty practicing this act, the person will be thrown to 10 years imprisonment. Before, it was a life imprisonment until it was challenged at the Constitutional Court when President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in 2013 assented to the same bill that has been brought back to Parliament for scrutiny and to be passed again. We are waiting to see whether this particular anti-homosexuality bill that has been presented on the floor of Parliament for the first reading by the Member of Parliament for that is none other than Asman Baselra, the Member of Parliament for that is Busiru. Not Busiru, I mean. I beg to be corrected right there. So that is something that you need to know right there about this homosexuality bill, as Asman Basalira, Bushiri Municipality Member of Parliament, continues to present the bill on the floor of Parliament for more readings. And it's quite unfortunate that whenever this bill is presented on the floor of Parliament for reading, the number of members of Parliament attending Parliament by that particular time is always very low compared to the previous time during censorship of the ministers. You find that during the censorship of Namuganza, I have to tell you that the Parliament was full to its capacity, but this time around, Parliament is supposed to be discussing a very serious issue of homosexuality here, but members of Parliament seem not to be interested. Should we say that those who are not interested are those who are really aligning with the LGBTQ community? And this is something I felt it is important that I should be able to bring to your attention right this morning. Dear viewer, we still have more for you this morning. Let's shift the gear away from that is the issues to do with the homosexuality, the lesbianism. Let's get to the issues to do with the climate change this morning. I have to tell you that yesterday it was terrible in Kampala, where floods were able to cut off, a movement for some people. Some parts of Kampala's capital city flooded, and it was very hard for people to access their areas of residence and also their areas of work. I had been told yesterday, right from morning up to afternoon, it was raining the whole day. And it was not this drizzle that we always receive in the north, but it was a heavy downpour that really caused floodings, and many people got affected. And this is going to those that are still living in areas that have not yet been affected by a heavy downpour, that we have to be very serious at this particular time in reading the weather. We are experiencing this climate change simply because of our actions as human beings, because we don't love our environment and we don't protect what God has handed over to us. As the St. Francis of Assisi says in his letter, he says that the poor should continue to be poor with love and care for the environment. So can we continue to be poor, but also having love for ourselves and also love for the environment? And we have to protect what God has created us. If you destroy the creatures that God has created, then you should not be counted among God's creatures, because you cannot live alone. There is what we call interdependence. We need to depend on one another. You might think that this tree or these trees are useless, but I have to tell you that there's a way that the trees are important to you, and you also, you are important to this particular tree. We were taught in science, in primary, that the air that we breathe out as carbon dioxide, it is being used by these trees as oxygen for them, while for them the carbon dioxide that they release we are consuming as oxygen. So the interdependence here is very important. The feces that the animals do drop manure, by the way, to these plants that we do have in our society. So it is important that we should coexist. You should not say, I am a human being, I got nothing to do with these trees, I got nothing to do with this grass, so I need to cut them. I need to, cut them down. Please and please, remember, you are depending on these particular trees. And the global warming that we do experience, the climate change in terms of heavy downpour that we continue to experience, is simply because we have destroyed some of the places that would really help to protect us from such natural calamities. So if we still undervalue the environment that we have, our surrounding, whatever living things and non-living things that we do have in our surrounding, then we shall continue to be affected. So it is now upon us to have love for ourselves, to have love for our neighbors, to have love for our friends, and to have love for the environment that is surrounding us, and then we will be able to move on well. We are getting into a season that is called rainy season, and it is a season for going back to the garden and to do farming activities. How prepared are we? Are we hopeful that we shall be able to be blessed with rain? If we are not hopeful, then what should we do? The problem is we continue to destroy those trees that are supposed to act as windbreaker. In as far as rain formation is concerned, the convectional rainfall that we are taught in social studies and in geography, do we continue to see the formation of the leeward and windward sides on our hills and on our mountains? Do we have those experiences now? Are we able to tell our students, our learners, our pupils the convectional rainfall? Are we able to explain to them to understand? You understand? Are we able to explain precipitation in rainfall formation to our learners to understand? Are they able to understand the cloud formation, the different types of clouds? Do we show to them that this type of cloud is called this and that? So if we are not able to use such practical lessons in our teachings, I have to tell you that we are not doing well. Excuse me. So that's what I can really tell you this morning. Dear viewer, you need to know that Malawi death toll from Cyclone Freddy rises as flooding continues. So Malawi is also facing this challenge where the Cyclone Freddy is affecting the country badly. If my producer can give us the pictures right there, it's very important. We shall be able to appreciate as well. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
And you need to know that the Malawi death toll from Cyclone Freddy rises as flooding continues. The tropical storm Freddy, one of the most powerful storms ever to hit the southern hemisphere, has killed 190 people in Malawi. And I believe my producer is able to give the pictures over right there. So as you get to understand what I'm trying to talk about here, love for environment and how do we treat our environment always. And you are able to see what is happening in Malawi as the Cyclone Freddy is able to affect the country, and over 190 people have passed. So this is as far as the issue of the Freddy cyclone is concerned. So Malawi's disaster management agency said on a Tuesday yesterday, and Freddy has also left a trail of destruction in Mozambique after it made a landfall for the second time over the weekend. The death toll in Malawi has jumped to 190, and that is from 99 reported on Monday. And you need to know that the Department of Disaster Management Affairs said as heavy rains continues to pummel the country, 584 people have been injured and 37 still missing, as said in the statement issued by the Malawi's Disaster Management Agency right there. Now, families in Blantyre were counting the cost of the storm as they waited to collect the dead bodies of relatives from, that is, the Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital mortuary. The flooding and rains have hit rescue operations and made it difficult to get relief to those affected, aid agencies said. Now, Freddy pummeled central Mozambique on that is Saturday, ripping roofs of buildings and what we call the bringing widespread flooding and around the port of the Quelmani before moving inland towards that is Malawi with the torrential rains that cause landslides. The full extent of the damage and loss of the life in Mozambique is not yet clear. So that is what we are experiencing as we talk now in Malawi and Mozambique, sweeping across South Africa in as far as issues to do with the cyclone Afridi is really concerned. So it's up to us to protect our environment, and it's up to us to see how we can continue to protect the environment, and we make good use of it, the environment that we do have. Don't undermine the effort and the work that is being done by the single tree that you have in your neighborhood, and we should be able to continue to continue planting more trees in our environment to see that we continue to protect the environment. If you destroy one tree, make sure that you plant two so that you recover the lost trees that you have really cut down. And this morning I would love to appreciate very much those who are protecting the environment and those who are planting more trees. We have the National Forestry Authority, in this country, and here in West Nile we have their headquarters right here in Arua City, and these people each and every year they continue to breed more seedlings that are supposed to be distributed to the people who are interested in planting trees. Why don't we visit them and we get these tree seedlings and we continue to plant? We do have this Central Forest Reserve Barifa that is really diminishing, and I would really request those in charge, more especially NFA, to take action against those who are not making good use of Barifa forest that is supposed to provide for us the national breeze that we are supposed to enjoy as the people in the city. I know with time we shall be able to have industries, but the smoke from the industries, where will the smoke be able to settle? A forest like Barifa will be able to act in that capacity of really absorbing the smoke and also absorbing the dust being generated in the city, and it also act as soundproof. By the way, those in Muni, they cannot really feel the noise that is being generated from this side of the city, simply because there is a forest in between the people of Muni and the people of the Arua Central Division. And whatever noise being made in Arua Central Division, those who are living the other side of the forest will not be able to be affected by the noise being generated here. And these are importance of having this environment in our surrounding. However, there are also challenges that are associated with these kind of reserves that we do have, the national trees and the national forests that we do have, and I believe the responsible authorities are responsible to see that these environment do not act in a bad way in as far as coexistence is concerned with human beings. Dear viewer, our time is getting up, and allow me to appreciate you this morning, and thank you very much for watching Western Television. Thank you very much for always following whatever we always bring to your screen through Western Television. For those who want to do business with us, we are located on plot 39A, Weather 8 Park Lane, right here in the heart of Arua City, next to Presidential State Lodge, for your information and for those who do not know. And my name is Dennis Oringi, and if you want to have conversation with me privately, you can go to my Twitter handle, Oringi Francis 11, and it will bring for you Dennis Oringi right there as we continue with the conversation on some of the issues that we should be able to discuss right here in our country, Uganda. And you can as well visit my personal Facebook page, Oringi Dennis, right there, and you can as well visit my YouTube page, that is Oringi Dennis Reports, and you will be able to get some of the reports that we always bring to you right there. While if you want to have conversation with Western Television, the contacts are scrolling right on your screen, and you can as well visit us, and you can as well go to our social media platforms. Go to Facebook and you will be able to get Western Television right there with the logo that is so unique, and it is the only outstanding logo that you will be able to get on that particular platform. And don't forget, we are also on Twitter, and you can as well get us on the Twitter handle for Western Television, and go there and like it, and you will be able to get the conversation right over there. And don't forget that we are back on YouTube, and for those who also want to follow our conversations on YouTube page. You can visit Western Television YouTube page, and you will be able to have all our programs that are being streamed live right there for you. And don't forget to always watch our Nilecast that comes your every Monday through Friday at exactly 7 p.m. with the Kokoliriko Christine, as we bring to your attention what is happening in Western region and what is happening beyond Western sub-region here in Arua City as well. And don't forget, from here we shall be able to have more programs. The Business Bank will be coming your way with the Kokoliriko, and thereafter we shall be able to have other programs like the Northern Request Hour, where you request the songs from Northern region as we played for you on your screen. And don't forget, from 1 to 2, MC Sarge will be in the street in as far as the Street Talk program is concerned, getting views from the people outside the studio, and he will be in the street bringing you what you need to know, what is happening in our streets. And don't forget, from 2 to 3, Lady Susie Benson together with that is Fodibo Owen, they will be able to break it down for you what is happening in the world of sports right there. And don't forget, from that is 3 to 5:30 p.m. DJ Bosch, Fifi Afi, Asa the Big Brother, they will be bouncing back for the Wednesday edition of the program Shuku Shuku, as they will be mixing it for you. People always ask, what does Shuku Shuku means? I have to tell you, you have ever seen how the DJs, they do their things, they always do that shuku shuku shuku, shuku shuku shuku. So that's the meaning. So it's more of musical show where they discuss entertainment news, the gossip, what is happening in the world of entertainment, who is that artist who has released a new video right this particular week, who is in the studio working on some production, and what is happening in the world of celebrities, and for those who call themselves celebrity. I am not a celebrity because I don't have money, but my name is Dennis Oringi, and my program is